Prime Minister Narendra Modi interacts with scientists at IISER in Pune. Scientists make presentations on technological areas. Prime Minister urges them to develop low-cost technologies to cater to India's specific requirements. Voter turnout of over 63% recorded in polling for the second phase of Jharkhand Assembly. Polling held for 20 seats, including 18 Naxal-affected constituencies. Union Law Minister Ravi Shankar Prasad says for speedy trial involving crime against women, Centre has proposed to establish 1,023 fast-track courts with the help of state governments. Says of these, 160 courts are already operational. In international news, North Korea says denuclearization is off the negotiating table with the US. Terms sustained and substantial dialogue sought by the US as time-saving trick to suit its domestic political agenda. And in sports, India lead the tally at 13 South Asian Games with 214 medals, including 110 golds, 69 silvers and 35 bronze medals. In cricket, India to take on West Indies in the second T20 in Thiruvananthapuram today. Hosts will look to seal the three-match series in their favour. Good morning. You're watching DD News this Sunday morning and I'm Preeti presenting the bulletin. Our top story first. Prime Minister Narendra Modi interacted with scientists and students at the Indian Institute of Science Education and Research in Pune. Prime Minister is in Pune to attend the DGP-IGP conference as well.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Saturday interacted with scientists and students at the Indian Institute of Science Education and Research in Pune. Prime Minister also visited the state-of-the-art supercomputer Param Brahma, which has a peak computing power of 797 teraflops. IISER Scientists made a series of presentations to the Prime Minister on various topics, showcasing cutting-edge technologies ranging from clean energy to molecular biology. The issues discussed during these presentations included new materials and devices for clean energy applications, carbon dioxide capture to minimize global warming, clean energy for green environment, affordable clean energy, graphene supercapacitors, natural resource mapping and study of Himalayan climate, mathematical finance research and market prediction, effects of malnutrition across generations, study of non-communicable diseases, agricultural biotechnology, molecular studies to improve potato yield, diagnosis of embryo health and development, strategies to address antimicrobial resistance, and LEGO India, a frontier science and technology facility on the Indian soil for an aspiring youth-dominated India. Prime Minister appreciated the scientists for their informative presentations. He urged them to develop low-cost technologies that would cater to India's specific requirements and help in fast-tracking India's growth. Bureau Report, DD News.
And the 54 DGPs and IGPs conference is underway in Pune. The conference was inaugurated by Union Home Minister Amit Shah on Friday. Delivering the inaugural address, Home Minister termed it as Vaicharik Kumbh, wherein the top policemen of the country come together on one platform and formulate policy decisions pertaining to national security. He appreciated police forces across the country for their good work and paid homage to police martyrs, announcing the government's plans to set up an all-India police university and an all-India forensic science university with affiliated colleges in the states. The Home Minister underscored the government's resolve to initiate changes in the IPC and the CRPC to make them more conducive as per today's democratic setup. The Home Minister also awarded trophies to the best police stations to the station house officers of Aberdeen in Andaman and Nicobar Islands, Balasinore of Gujarat and AJK Burhanpur in Madhya Pradesh. Prime Minister Narendra Modi attended the conference on Saturday. So far, the conference has deliberated on a gamut of policing and security issues, including border protection, linkage of narcotics and terrorism, upgradation of forensic capability, threat from radicalization in the digital era, and evidence-based policing. While specific cases were highlighted, roadmaps for implementation of key recommendations were also framed. Union Law Minister Ravi Shankar Prasad has said that the centre and the state governments have proposed setting up of 1,023 new fast-track courts across the country, out of which 160 have already become operational.
देश में देश की बेटियां बहनों के साथ जो हो रहा है उसके कारण गुस्सा है और हमारी जो न्याय प्रक्रिया है उसको इस गुस्से को समझना पड़ेगा और त्वरित न्याय की व्यवस्था करनी पड़ेगी। इसलिए भारत सरकार ने महिलाओं में बलात्कार, पॉस्को कांड के मामलों में बच्चों के साथ जो होता है तो 1023 फास्ट ट्रैक कोर्ट की स्थापना प्रस्तावित की है राज्य सरकारों के साथ। इसमें लगभग 400 पर सहमति बन गई है और 160 से अधिक ऑपरेशनल भी हो गया है, बाकी बातचीत चल रही है। इसके अलावा पूर्व से 704 फास्ट ट्रैक कोर्ट चल रहा है।
And speaking to reporters in Patna, the Union Minister said that he would write to the Chief Ministers of all states and Chief Justices of High Courts, appealing them to complete investigations in rape cases involving minors within 2 months.
देश की जुडिशरी से एक अपील की है कि ये सारे फास्ट ट्रैक कोर्ट ठीक चलें, कालबद्ध समय में निर्णय करें। इसका समय समय पर प्रभावी मूल्यांकन होना बहुत जरूरी है और कानून में हमने ये बदलाव किया है कि जहां बच्चों पर बलात्कार पर आपको फांसी मिलेगी तो इसका इन्वेस्टिगेशन 2 महीने में पूरा होना चाहिए। तो मैं सारे मुख्यमंत्रियों को पत्र लिखने जा रहा हूं कि इस बात की विशेष चिंता की जाए कि इन्वेस्टिगेशन 2 महीने में कंप्लीट हो। और आज मैंने वहां अपील की है, मैं सारे हाई कोर्ट के मुख्य न्यायाधीश को पत्र लिखने जा रहा हूं, जितने भी फास्ट ट्रैक कोर्ट के मामले हैं वो तेजी से निपटारा हो।
Uttar Pradesh government has announced a next gratia of 25 lakh rupees for the family of the Unnao rape victim. Senior Uttar Pradesh Minister Swami Prasad Maurya, who was sent to Unnao to meet the bereaved family, handed over the cheque to the victim's father. Maurya said that a fast-track court will be set up for speedy justice in this case. Besides rupees 25 lakh, the family will be given a government house. He also said that directions have been issued to secure stringent punishment to the accused persons. The 23-year-old rape victim, who was airlifted to Delhi and admitted to Safdarjung Hospital with 90% burns after being set on fire by the accused, died following a cardiac arrest on Friday night.
और पूरी की पूरी सरकार इस पीड़ित परिवार के साथ है। अपराधियों के खिलाफ पहले भी कार्रवाई हुई, अभी भी हो रही है, आगे भी होगी। मुख्यमंत्री कोष से 25 लाख रुपए की आर्थिक सहायता भी भेजा है और अभी शाम को जिलाधिकारी के हाथों उसको चेक भी मिल जाएगा, आज ही मिल जाएगा। अपराधियों को सजा दिलाने के लिए माननीय मुख्यमंत्री जी ने फास्ट ट्रैक कोर्ट के गठन का भी निर्णय लिया है।
Meanwhile, the mortal remains of the victim have reached her native village amid heavy police arrangements to avoid any untoward incident. In Telangana, a team of the National Human Rights Commission visited the encounter at Chatanpalli in Hyderabad, where the 4 accused of Hyderabad rape case were shot dead by police on Friday as they tried to snatch police weapons. The NHRC took suo motu cognizance of the killing of the 4 accused in the veterinary doctor's rape and murder case. Voting for the second phase of assembly elections in Jharkhand concluded on Saturday peacefully. An estimated 63.4% polling was recorded on an average in the second phase. We get more in this report.
Polling was held for 20 constituencies peacefully in the second phase of Jharkhand assembly elections on Saturday. An estimated 63.44% polling was recorded till 5 p.m. Due to security reasons, polling in 18 seats concluded by 3 p.m. while in the remaining 2 seats it was held till 5 p.m.
5 बजे शाम तक की जो हमारे पास सूचना थी 20 विधानसभा क्षेत्र का जो औसत मतदान है वह 63.44%, 63.44% है। मैं यहाँ पर एक डिस्क्लेमर देना चाहूँगा कि यह औपबंधिक है। फाइनल फिगर जो है वह जब स्क्रूटनी होती है, जब प्रिसाइडिंग ऑफिसर्स की डायरी का 17C का 17A का मिलान किया जाता है तभी आता है। तो वो जब मिलान होगा तो ये प्रतिशत में कुछ और बढ़ोतरी होने की संभावना है।
In the second phase, a total of 260 candidates were in the fray for 20 seats in the state. The list includes 29 women candidates and 73 independents. Tight security arrangements were made at all left-wing extremism-infested polling stations. 42,000 personnel were deployed to ensure free and fair elections.
हम लोग का घर मकान अच्छा मिलेगा, बाल बच्चा को अच्छा पढ़ने लिखने के लिए शिक्षा मिलेगा, पानी उनी घर द्वार के मकान उकान अच्छा मिलेगा, इसलिए सोच कर आए हैं।
झारखंड ऊंचा करने आए हैं हम लोग, झारखंड के लिए वोट दिए हैं।
The assembly elections in Jharkhand are being held in 5 phases. The first phase of voting was held on 30th November, while the second phase of voting took place on 7th December. Voting for the third phase will take place on 12th December. The fourth phase of voting will be held on 16th December, while the fifth phase polling will take place on 20th December. The counting of votes will take place on 23rd December. Bureau Report, DD News.
Meanwhile, campaigning for the third phase of elections has intensified. Polling for 17 constituencies spread over 8 districts will be held in the third phase on 12th of this month. Star campaigners of different political parties are holding election rallies and public meetings in support of their candidates. BJP leader and Union Minister Smriti Irani will hold a series of rallies in Giridih, Bokaro and Ranchi. AJSU party chief Sidesh Mato will hold rallies in Batka Gaon, Kanke, Sonahatu. JVM Prajatantrik leader and former Chief Minister Babulal Marandi will hold rallies in Bokaro, Dhanbad and Ranchi. GMM leader Hemant Soren will also hold rallies at various places today. Raksha Mantri Rajnath Singh flagged off a special plogging awareness drive rally from Delhi Cantonment to create an awareness against single-use plastic in the country. This drive was launched under the nationwide drive to get rid of the single-use plastic.
Raksha Mantri Rajnath Singh led the Cleanliness Day program in Delhi Cantonment on Saturday. Significantly, Ministry of Defence will encourage 50 lakh people to pick up plastic garbage during the walk under the Swachhta Pakhwada campaign. Raksha Mantri also said that cleanliness has now become a symbol of smartness and people in villages are also aware of it. Creating awareness among the community by collecting plastic waste to make the area around them plastic free was also discussed in the program titled Plastic Se Raksha, Swachhta Hi Suraksha.
बच्चे जब देखते हैं किसी को कहीं गंदगी करते हुए स्वाभाविक रूप से वो अपनी आपत्ति दर्ज कराते हैं। तब 4 बार लोग सोचने लगे हैं कि अब हमको गंदगी कहीं नहीं करनी चाहिए। और स्वच्छता को मैं यह भी मानता हूं ये स्मार्टनेस का प्रतीक है। जो व्यक्ति गंदा है वो तो देखने में भी अच्छा नहीं लगता, चाहे कितना भी स्लिम हो, चाहे जो कुछ भी हो। लेकिन यदि गंदा है तो उसे स्मार्ट नहीं कहा जा सकता और जो गंदगी करता है उसे भी स्मार्ट नहीं कहा जा सकता। स्मार्ट व्यक्ति जो गंदगी कम से कम नहीं करेगा। और मैं देख रहा हूं कि गांवों में भी लेकर स्वच्छता अभियान को लेकर एक जागरूकता लोगों के अंदर बढ़ी है।
The 3 services, Indian Coast Guard and other organizations like Border Roads Organization and National Cadet Corps will actively participate in this campaign. Along with this, a competition between the units will also be organized and the winner will be chosen on the basis of the number of participants and the amount of plastic collected during the walk. Bureau Report, DD News.
In international news, North Korea on Saturday said that denuclearization talks with the United States were out of the negotiation table and lengthy talks with Washington are not needed. This was stated by North Korea's ambassador to the United Nations, Kim Song. The statement came after European UN Security Council members on Wednesday condemned North Korea's continued testing of ballistic missiles and called for strict enforcement of sanctions against Pyongyang. Song also called the European statement another serious provocation, saying North Korea is exercising righteous measures of strengthening national defense capabilities. Nuclear talks between Pyongyang and Washington are stalled with a looming end-of-the-year deadline set by North Korea for some kind of US concession. The US and Iran have conducted a prisoner swap in a rare sign of cooperation between the two countries. Iran has released Wang, a PhD student from the University of Princeton, who was arrested by Iranians 3 years ago on suspicion of being a spy and sentenced to 10 years of imprisonment. US President Trump has expressed satisfaction that the American hostage is back. The US has freed Iranian scientist Masoud Soleimani, a stem cell expert, was arrested from Chicago airport last year. He was accused of violating trade sanctions by trying to export biological material to Iran. Both have thanked the Swiss government for assistance as an intermediary facilitator. US and Iran have sent each other prisoners back in an effort to end tensions in mutual relations. And in a significant development, Washington has resumed talks with Taliban in Qatar on Saturday. Both sides said 3 months after US President Donald Trump abruptly halted democratic efforts that could end America's longest war. In September, the United States and Taliban had appeared on the verge of signing a deal that would have seen Washington begin withdrawing thousands of troops in return for security guarantees. It was also expected to pave the way towards direct talks between Taliban and the government in Kabul and ultimately a possible peace agreement after more than 18 years of war. Taliban spokesman in Qatar has confirmed the talks in Twitter, saying that they had resumed from where they were broken off. Taliban have until now refused to negotiate with the Afghan government, which they consider an illegitimate regime. In a nod to concerns raised by Afghan President Ashraf Ghani, the US State Department voiced support for a ceasefire that is a key priority for Kabul before it enters negotiations with the Islamist insurgents. In Syria, at least 20 people were killed in Idlib in airstrikes by Syrian government and Russian forces. The attacks hit 5 villages in the northwest region. The air raids also wounded several others. The Idlib region, which is home to some 3 million people, including many displaced by Syria's civil war, is controlled by the country's former Al-Qaeda affiliate. The Damascus regime has repeatedly vowed to take back the control of Idlib. And scientists at the COP25 conference have issued a warning of irreversible changes if no action is taken on climate. University professor and co-author of the World Scientist Warning of a Climate Emergency, William Mumor, said that current global commitments are not enough to reverse the effects of climate change. A study which was co-authored by him and published in the Bioscience Journal in November warned of untold suffering due to climate change. The study was endorsed by 11,000 scientists. Parties involved in climate negotiations in Madrid are hoping to resolve outstanding issues related to carbon emissions by the end of the 2-week United Nations conference. The main challenge for negotiators will be disagreement and uncertainty surrounding a provision in the 2015 Paris Agreement labeled Article 6, which puts a price on emissions, therefore allowing them to be traded between the countries. And many people came together and blocked one of Madrid's most demonstrated streets on Saturday in a protest to demand action against climate change. The protesters dubbed the protest march as civil disco, that is civil disobedience, as protested by dancing on the streets. The protest was called by grassroots Green Movement Extinction Rebellion. Despite the cool winter temperatures, some of the demonstrators participated in the protest in a large number along the street. The protest was going on along with the annual UN Climate Summit. By the meeting's close on December 13th, negotiators hope to resolve remaining disagreements on how to implement an accord signed in Paris to avert the catastrophic situation of global warming. And Bangladesh government is considering to set up virtual courts in the country that will reduce the risk and hassle to bring and take back notorious criminals from jail in National Judicial Conference 2019 in Dhaka. Speaking about the need for timely delivery of justice, Bangladesh Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina said that nobody should be made to wait for years for justice while bearing the pain of losing their kith and kin. She also called upon the judiciary to provide their judgment in Bangla simultaneously with English so that it is easily understood by people. Hasina stressed upon the importance of better coordination among Parliament, judiciary and the executive. And rescuers and search dogs took the skies to practice rescuing skills in the build-up to the Swiss Alps deadly avalanche season. Emergency crews laden with specialist equipments landed with their dogs on the snow slopes of Glacier 3000 above the village of Les Dibrolets. 19 people died in the Swiss Alps during the last winter season. Conditions have become more hazardous as Switzerland's glaciers retreat due to global warming. More than 500 Swiss glaciers have already vanished, and the government says 90% of the remaining 1,500 will disappear by the end of the century if nothing is done to cut emissions. Doctors used spades to dig out a volunteer during training, assisted by dogs who have been trained to burrow through drifts and sniff out victims. And India has crossed the 100 gold medal mark at the 13th South Asian Games in Nepal. On the 7th day of the competition on Saturday, India further consolidated its top position and breached 200 mark in overall medal tally. India has so far clinched 214 medals, comprising of 110 golds, 69 silvers and 35 bronze medals. In men's marathon, Rashpal Singh won silver and Shrey Singh won bronze. In women's marathon, Jyoti Gawate bagged bronze. In javelin throw, Shivpal Singh won silver in men's section, while Kumari Sharmila got bronze in the women's section. In men's 800 meter sprint, Mohammad Afzal clinched silver and Lily Das clinched bronze in women's category. In 4 into 400 meters relay, Indian sprinters won silver in men's and bronze in women's section. And in cricket, India will look to secure the 3-match 2020 series by taking an unbeatable 2-0 lead when they face West Indies in the second match in Thiruvananthapuram today. Captain Virat Kohli led by example and scored an unbeaten knock of 94 runs to help India chase down a tough target with 8 balls to spare.
India will look for an improved show in the bowling and fielding departments to match their stupendous batting performance when they face West Indies in the second game, eyeing to wrap up yet another T20 series in Thiruvananthapuram on Sunday. In the last 13 months, India have played the West Indies in 6 T20 internationals, with the host coming up trumps every single time. On Friday, India claimed their 7th T20 win over the visitors, beating them comfortably by 6 wickets in the first game to take 1-0 lead in the 3-match series. If KL Rahul set the platform with a 40-ball 62, skipper Virat Kohli finished the job with a career-best 94 not out. Under fire, Rishabh Pant produced 2 big sixes before being holed out at long off, and the wicketkeeper batsman, who has come under scanner for his inconsistent form with a bat and poor glove work, will look to grab such opportunities more often. While the batting led by Kohli put up a good show, the bowlers found themselves at the receiving end of some power hitting by Avon Lewis, Shimron Hetmeyer and captain Kiran Pollard. Deepak Chahar, who was impressive in the preceding series against South Africa and Bangladesh, found the going tough as West Indies batsmen went after him. He took 1 wicket but gave away 54 runs, and he will look to execute things better on Sunday. The fielding department too, India were far from impressive, with Sundar and Rohit Sharma dropping a few catches apart from numerous misfields, and the host will look to quickly pull up their socks. The Windies, on the other hand, will be desperate to bounce back and keep the series alive, but for that they will have to find a way to stop the Indian batsman led by Virat Kohli. Sports Desk, DD News.
And time now to get to the weather updates. That's it in this edition of the News Dasar. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.